And welcome everybody to Juice Responds. It's going to be a new video series that I'll do occasionally when I watch somebody else's video and I either want to counter what they say or add on to what they say. I'm going to do a video like this. Try to keep them around 15 minutes or so, and then also be open to having guests on or the person that I'm responding to. So this one is going to be a response to OJ, formerly known as Francis from PlayerEssence. He made a video that we use big games need to be on NX, and I'll link that in the description once this uploads on YouTube. And basically what he said is, it's Nintendo needs to make it happen that, games like Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers 4 need to be on the NX, at launch, whether it be backwards compatibility or re-releasing these games to run on NX. And I generally agreed with that video, and, not everything though. So I do have a counter to one point, and then it also started making me think about some other things. But before I get into that, I just want to say, for those of you that don't know, and I just want to have a moment of silence for Mr. L Live 08 from the Live and Level podcast. Passed away earlier this week. I don't know all the details, but he was one of my favorite personalities on podcasts, and he didn't do much on his own channel, but he was always I always enjoyed hearing him on the Live and Level podcast. So I'm going to do a moment of silence for Mr. L Live 08 right now. All right. I also want to say, it was a tough news to hear. I didn't know the guy that well personally. Did a podcast with him once or twice. Really enjoyed that, and it's a big loss, just in this community, and just seemed like a really good dude, and leveled head. If you're watching this, hopefully you continue your podcast and stuff, and I think not know him that well, but I would think that that's what he would want. And so anybody, if you didn't know and you're finding out now, you just if you need to, get on Twitter, and Leveled Head had some information about it, and that's it's unfortunate, it's tragic, and it's really sad. So hopefully he's in a better place playing video games right now, and having a good time. So so on to the video. After, it is bad news and it does suck, but I think the best thing to do is just talk about gaming, because that's what he loved to do. So I think that's what we should do, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So getting back to the topic of the video, and that's Wii U games being on the NX. And like I said, I agreed with Francis for the most part, or OJ. Still having trouble saying OJ. But like the big titles, I said this, within the last, it was probably 6 months ago, or even further than that. As soon as the NX talk started creeping up, I said that, these games got to be playable on the NX. Nintendo put a lot of effort and made, the best version of Mario Kart, in my opinion, best Smash Brothers game, the best Donkey Kong Country game, and the Wii U's at 10.6 million or whatever. So there's a lot of people that are missing out on these awesome games. And I said, the NX has to be backwards compatible, because they're, for one, Nintendo can sell these games to a new audience, basically. If the NX hits that mass market, and like, got people excited, like Francis says, there's people buzzing about it. So if people buy it that didn't have a Wii U at launch, there's probably going to be a 3D Mario game at launch. I believe there will be. So that's an amazing game. But to be able to play Mario Kart 8 on the NX day one, and all those people that missed out will be able to experience that game, and Nintendo is going to get more game sales out of that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. but there's some stipulations as far as I'm concerned. I think the only way that it, I guess, makes sense to me is to do it through backwards compatibility. Now, whether it's the chipset or they somehow can get the new chips to run the Wii U OS or something, or if it's just basically like the digital games on the Wii U for the Wii, it goes into Wii mode, but you don't have to go to the Wii menu. It can just boot up and play the game, and then it boots right back to the Wii U menu. Just do something like that. Or, obviously there's people like me who downloaded a lot of Wii U first party games like Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8, Tropical Freeze, 3D World. I have all those downloaded. So the other thing would have to be all those would have to transfer over, whether it's through the new My Nintendo service or some simple or, not too complicated way. I need to be able to get my digital versions on the NX if I choose to, have that system hooked up and unhook my Wii U. So those two things are crucial. And, if the NX, I'm talking only home console, like these games, I don't think they shouldn't try to make it work on the handheld or the portable if it's a Fusion, just because then how do you do that? Because obviously it's not going to have a disk drive. So I think you limit it to the console only. And if you have the discs, like I have Mario Maker on disc, you put that in the NX. If it's got to do software emulation, like Francis said, like the Xbox One does with the 360 games, that's fine. If you have to do like a download, you put the disc in and it downloads whatever it takes to make it work, and you got to have the disc in the system. Either way, you can't screw over the people that bought your games on the Wii U. If you're gonna have those games available on the NX, it has to be through backwards compatibility. And the thing that I disagree with Francis was, he said even if they have to port the game, like Smash Brothers and all the DLC, Super Smash Brothers for NX, and it's literally a port that you can only play Smash Bros. On the NX if you buy this version, which is the NX version. Or I will use Mario Kart 8 just because the name's easier than Super Smash Bros. For Wii U for NX. So if Mario Kart 8 gets an NX port, and the only way I can play Mario Kart 8 on the NX online with my friends is if I go out and rebuy Mario Kart 8 for the NX, then I'm 100% completely against that. I think that would be it would be a slap in the face. And you guys know me, I don't say too many negative things about Nintendo, a bit of a fanboy and all that. That would be the worst thing they've ever done, in my opinion. So let me just reiterate. If they take Wii U games, port them over, because they really wouldn't have to make them HD'er because they already look amazing, to run on the NX, and I would have to buy Mario Kart 8 or Smash or Splatoon again to play, then that's no better than what Sony's doing with the PS4 with all these PS3 games. I'm 100% against that, and if they did that, I would seriously have reservations about supporting the NX at all. Like, that to me is the number one sin they could do with the NX. That's just unacceptable to me. So that's where I kind of disagree with Francis. Because just release a new freaking Mario Kart game, because here's a reason why I don't think they should even consider that. They merged their handheld and their console divisions. Every couple years, you get, let's say, Mario Kart Wii. Then a couple years later, we got Mario Kart 7. Then a couple years after that, we get Mario Kart 8. Now that these are merged, it shouldn't be 5 years in between console Mario Kart games and 5 years in between handhelds. It should be 2 to 3 years, period, if the NX is a Fusion system. So there's no reason to port Mario Kart 8 to the NX when maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, you're going to have a brand new game. So that just doesn't make sense at all there. And like I said, as somebody who's completely against all these 7th gen PlayStation games getting ported to PS4 to fill out their lineup, I'd be a complete hypocrite if I was okay with Nintendo doing that, even if it was their top, let's say 4 games, let's say Smash, Mario Kart, Splatoon, and Mario Maker or Zelda U. I guess 5 games. Even if they only did those 5, I'm still completely against it. And in my opinion, all the people who are saying Nintendo's made all these mistakes with the Wii U and this and that, where they've delivered the games for me for the most part, other than a Metroid game. I would start turning into them, and this is what crosses the line for me as far as my principles. If they start remastering, remaking, or porting Wii U games to the NX to fill out the lineup, then I don't even know if I'd buy the system, to tell you the truth. I think that would just be utterly ridiculous, and I'd be against it. So my feelings are very strong on that, and I don't know what they could do. I mean, unless, I guess the only compromise would be that it would work, the Wii U version and the NX version. You'd still be able to play like the same group of people, and I could use my Wii U to play. It would be a little bit less offensive to me, but to me, it's almost unforgivable if they did that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Spend a little bit of money, whatever it takes, to make the Wii U be able to play the NX play Wii U games. Even if it's only 10, 15 titles of your exclusive Wii U games, spend the money, Nintendo. You'll get it back with new people buying those games, new NX owners who didn't have the Wii U going out and buy Mario Kart 8. You can rebrand the box art. You can print new copies of Mario Kart and Smash and put, instead of just the green with the Wii U, you could put Wii U and NX or whatever the name of the system is. If you want to do that, that's fine, but the disc better be a Wii U disc in there. That's the only way that I see this being acceptable as for me personally. So, yeah, spend the money, whatever it takes. Software emulation, put Wii U architecture in there if you have to. Eat the cost. You'll make it back up with extra game sales if that's a selling point of the system. And obviously, it'd have to support the gamepad and all. Wii Remote, all the accessories would have to be supported. Make it happen. If you think I'm going to sit there and be okay with Mario Kart 8 NX and having to rebuy the game to be able to play that on the new system, you might have lost a Nintendo fan. Honestly, to me, that's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not cool with that, but I'm 100% all for backwards compatibility, software emulation, whatever it takes, because I can understand them wanting games like Mario Kart 8 were a huge hit on the Wii U, 6 million sold. That's a high attach rate, 60%. But that game's good enough that 20 million units sold wouldn't even be enough for how good that game is. Smash Brothers, same way. So just print more Wii U discs and make your next system backwards compatible. I just think that's the only way that you can do it. Now, OJ was saying that he doesn't want the system price to go up because of backwards compatibility. Nintendo, you better eat that cost if you're going to do that. Now, the NX could be something so significantly different, and whatever control scheme they have, they might be going in such a different direction that they don't even want it to associate it with the Wii U and all those games. I would be okay with that. As somebody who has a Wii U and is happy with the games I've got, the only people that'd be missing out were the people that are just stubborn and didn't want to get a Wii U for reasons, whatever the reasons were. Then it's their loss. And the Wii U, obviously the price is going to drop when the NX comes out. I could see the system going for, at first, probably 250 to 200, whatever they decide, whether there's games in there. The Wii U is going to be 200 or less relatively quickly after the NX comes out, so people can go buy the Wii U at a discount and play those games. So to me, like, backwards compatibility is really a great idea, and it would be awesome if I could just put my Wii U away, plug in my NX, have one device on my TV, my entertainment stand's really clean and neat, and I don't have two consoles, and either I sync my gamepad to it or it has a new controller that works, and I could like still play Mario Kart 8 for the next 2 years or Smash for the next couple years until the next Smash Brothers comes out. I mean, obviously that's going to be amazing, and I really think they should do that. But to me, it's not more important than them, not becoming the thing that I despise or the thing that I criticize, and that's remaking, remastering, porting all these 6th, 7th gen games onto the 8th gen systems. I don't think it's worth going that route as far as just, in my eyes, obviously this is my opinion. The gains from that, for whatever gains they would get, I think they would lose a lot of respect and credibility. But that's just, again, me saying that. So that's about my response. And at first I wasn't sure if I really was against it, but I was thinking about it all day, and I was just like, yeah, if they try to make us rebuy Mario Kart, and people would. And if I get the NX and everybody I know has got Smash Brothers 4 NX version, I'm going to be tempted to get it. And that's the problem, is people would do it. And obviously with the PS4, no one, the system's selling great, so it's not really a lot of people don't care, and it doesn't seem to be an issue for them. But for me personally, that's unacceptable, and I would really be kind of affected as a Nintendo fan. It would really affect me if they decided to go that route. I think that's probably one of the, if not the single most pathetic thing about the 8th generation, is all the Xbox 360 and PS3 games coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. Mostly Sony, they're doing it. They just announced Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain coming, and to me that's just completely ridiculous. After that news, I don't think I could ever buy a PS4, and so the same would apply to the NX if they tried to pull the same stuff. So, and the other part I wanted to make, I was like, this is only important, let's say the backwards compatibility, software emulator, whatever they decide. If they decide to do it, it's got to be there at day one, because a year after, it doesn't matter, because I think they're going to be firing game out or game after game within the first year, and then year two, I think 2 and 3 are going to be just stellar if it's a fusion system and these development studios have combined. We're going to get these games a lot quicker. You really don't need to worry about having Mario Kart 8 playable on the NX in year 2, unless they just really, they're running up against a wall with the extra power of the NX and the possibilities, and their development cycles jump a couple years. I don't think it's really that big a deal in year 2 and 3 to have this. So they need to have it at launch if they're going to do it. And like I said, the only thing, if we don't know what the NX is, if it's so completely different that it just doesn't make sense to have backwards compatibility, then don't have it, and then don't port the games to the NX and make people rebuy. I guess if there was some way they could do it, I don't know really how they could. Let's say it doesn't have a disk drive, then there's just no way they could do it. Let's say they're going to go with a cartridge system. There's just no way they could do backwards compatibility. Even you can't reward the people that bought it digitally and then say F you to the people that have it on disc. You just have to just say, screw it, we can't do it. So we don't know enough about the NX to know if it's possible or not. But if it is a cartridge-based system, doesn't have a disk drive, obviously you can't do backwards compatibility. And like I said, unless there was some trade-in program where I could send them my copy of the Wii U game and they send me the NX version, I guess that would be the only way where I'd be cool with it. And I just kind of thought of that. I don't see them doing that. That's a lot of shipping charge costs that they'd have to eat. So it just doesn't make any sense. But just basically to summarize, the major Wii U titles, if it's the NX is a console has a disk drive, then obviously I think they should make the effort to make it backwards compatible. Like OJ said, there's a lot of people didn't buy the Wii U. You know they're jealous. You know they've been looking at these games. You see them in the comment sections of these Wii U games. You know these people want to play these games, but they just are unwilling for reasons, whatever the reasons are, to buy Wii U. If they decide to buy an NX, if it has a disk drive, I think the Nintendo needs to take the steps, make the backwards compatibility possible, and like I said, even if it's for the 10 major titles, so we'll say Mario Kart 8, Smash, Splatoon, 3D World, maybe because of the 3D Mario game will probably be out at launch. Bayonetta 2, it wasn't a huge hit, but it's one of the better games. Tropical Freeze, Mario Maker, and Zelda U obviously would be the top of the list. I might have, I don't think I really forgot any major one. You make those games available, rebrand the boxes, like I said, Wii U and NX, for Wii U and NX. So basically, all Wii U games will play in NX. And if it says Wii U and NX, it'll play in the Wii U, obviously. If it's just for NX, just say NX. Everything else, Wii U and NX. So, and they might not have to, repackage or reprint a bunch of copies depending on what they think they're going to sell. But I think, Mario Kart 8, Smash, Splatoon obviously would, and Zelda U, if it's not getting an NX port, obviously rebrand the boxes, have them there at launch. People go to buy the NX. Let's say there's a 3D Mario game, and let's say the port of Zelda, or however they work that, and then they see Mario Kart 8 sitting there for Wii U and NX. Now, Mario Kart 8 is still one of the best looking games this generation. I don't think too many people can argue that, and the fact that I say that is because you don't see people really trying to argue against the visuals of Mario Kart. When they're trying to say the Wii U's weak, they never bring up Mario Kart. So they don't really need to have any kind of up-resing. It doesn't need to run in 1080p native or anything like that. The game's already run at 60 frames per second, so I guess the only thing they could do is load slightly quicker, but Mario Kart 8 loads so fast. I guess the only thing quicker would be near instant. But don't even worry about making improvements. You don't have to do anything to the visuals. Just make it connect to the Nintendo network and be able to play online. Whether the person's playing on Wii U or NX, they should be able to play like it's a seamless thing. And I think that would go a long way to enticing people, the non-Wii U owners, to go out and buy the next system. And it would also reward the Wii U owners that bought all these games. And yeah, so I think it's an interesting proposition. I'm sure Nintendo has gone over every option and thought of every possible scenario thing they'd have to do. Maybe they have already had this stuff in the works. Maybe, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it was an interesting topic to bring up, and go watch OJ's video about it. His was a little shorter than mine's going to be, but yeah, I think I've said everything I said. But recap for this is being live streamed, so anybody that jumped on late, I agree. The Wii U, it'd be great if the NX had Wii U games backwards compatibility, whether it's software emulation or full back, a Wii U built inside the NX. Nintendo should eat the cost, whatever it takes to make it happen, and they'd make the money back in software sales of these Wii U titles where they could rebrand them. And then I also said if they think they're going to just port these games to the NX and think, especially me, I'm going to rebuy these games to play on the NX, that to me is the worst offense Nintendo's ever done. So I would be 100% against that, and it would actually make me question purchasing the NX if that was their kind of their game plan, was to fill it with Wii U games that are ports that are, even if it's $40, I'm sorry, that's not cool with me. I'm totally against that, and I think it would be very stupid of them to do that. So I'm going to double check, make sure no one submitted any questions. We're all clear there. So that's going to be it for this video. My first ever juice response or responds. And let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, Wii U owners, I'm sure most of my subscribers are. How would you feel if Nintendo thought you were it was okay to ask you to rebuy all these Wii U games to play them on NX instead of making it backwards compatible, and basically doing what Sony did with the PS4 and all those PS3 games. So all right, that's going to be it, and we'll see you next time.